TO plays.
Hey there, welcome back. It's Tio, bringing you another playthrough of Kerbal Space Program. This is the second video from my new career mode, showing new players some of the basics on how to start with a career. About making money, making science, building bigger and better rockets, having some fun. I think where I left off was I've got two contracts that are going to require me to splash down off the coast to get a little bit of money, which we can use to upgrade some of the facilities on the campus. I think I've got plenty enough that I can actually make a few more upgrades. You want to upgrade the tracking station pretty soon when you start getting into orbit. You also want to upgrade mission control uh, if you're like me and you hate only having two contracts at a time. It's not as easy to make quick money. So I may actually upgrade that now. Got plenty of money. So now I can have 7 contracts, whereas before I could only have 2. So I've got my 2 splashdown contracts. Let's see what else. Um, we're going to orbit Kerbin for sure pretty soon. Let's see, in the ferry mission, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people that want to be ferried on a suborbital space flight. Well, I don't have a pod that can hold 4 yet. So although I could do it in 1 or 2 missions, or 1 goofy looking mission with 4 pods stacked on top of each other, I'll probably skip on that for now. Well, let's stick with the 3 that we've got, I suppose. Alright, this is the goofy craft from before. We'll keep reusing just the top section, but we'll keep swapping the bottom for more efficient items. For instance, we can get rid of these little fuel tanks. Put on a larger FLT 400. There's our Terrier that I was telling you about. Our couple. Let's see. I don't believe I did not upgrade the vehicle assembly building, so I'm going to run out of parts. I may have to go and upgrade so that I could slap on as many parts as I would like to take. Let's see if we can get to orbit with the 30 part count limit. I don't think so. I've only got 6 more that I can use. And that's not including fuel lines, which I don't have. Dang it. So this booster idea that I had is a no-go. Let's see, the thumpers counts as 2 parts. That'll work. Doing that should allow me 2 more parts to go. Let's see, got that. 1 more part. Let's get that lined up a little better. Let's get our engine stage together. Let's see, I bet I can get rid of. Let's see, one of those can go. Why is it not snapping the way I would like? Put it in here then, on the wall. So now I've got 2 parts, which means I can put some wings, because I'm going to need the gravity turn. Don't have any reaction wheels, so fins should help keep it stable. Also don't have any struts, so hopefully this thing holds together. So I'm at my part limit, 1400 meters per second plus, plus that last 489 is an atmosphere. It jumps up to almost 2000 when I change my calculator to a vacuum. So this should definitely get me into orbit. Need to make sure I have enough fuel to get out of orbit, because I don't want to leave poor Jebediah stuck up there. So I've got more science and technology to go and get him. So let's also double check real quick. my test conditions. So I can test the TD12 decoupler splashdown and test the heat shield, a larger one splashdown. And for the decoupler, I need to activate the part through the staging sequence, which means I can't have already activated the decoupler. I have to wait and activate it when I'm actually in the water. So that's this decoupler, and that's the heat shield that I've got. So I'll have the heat shield on me. I don't believe that's a part activation. I think that's just a test. Yeah, run test. That'll be fine. It's the coupling I'm going to have a problem with. So I'll do something unconventional. I'm going to put a coupling between the heat shield. I guess technically that'd be fine too. Between the heat shield and the module. So I'll splash down with the heat shield on, then eject the coupling. And the heat shield will sink into the abyss. Oh, and there goes my part limit. Okay. Carefully curated for nothing. Ditch. Another. Another one of those. So now we're good. Jebediah, you're the lucky guy. Let's get out there and make it happen. I think the goal of this little series would probably be landing on the moon or Minmus. Don't know that I'll take it much further than that. Again, there's lots of good tutorials out there, other YouTubers that have done a whole lot more. This is for the very beginners. So, while I was fidgeting with things, my staging got messed up. Now it's, I think, the way it mostly should be. Definitely don't want to eject my upper coupling too early. Geez, it's hard to see which one that is. I might do that one manually when it's time. Right. So throttle up. This time's super important because that middle engine's liquid fueled, so the throttle needs to be up. Go ahead and put on my maneuver mode so I can see my apoapsis. And again, we're going to turn to the right for our gravity turn. So when I get above 100 meters per second, I think it's alright to start turning. Typically want to keep your nose pointed within the prograde marker. If it gets too far outside of that marker, you're going to get a lot of drag, which you can already see on the vehicle. I'm actually moving pretty fast for being so low in the atmosphere, so I'm going to throttle back a little. It's probably the solid fuel boosters that are working so hard. They're going to burn out here in a second, and then I'll drop them over the water. Yep, there we go. Now I can control the craft much easier, a lot less thrust. Ooh, and my apoapsis is already way too high, 87,000 C. That was not a good gravity turn at all. So I'm moving at 950 meters per second. By the time I get up to my apoapsis, that speed's going to be half probably, which means I wasted a lot of energy going straight up when I needed to be going circular. But no big deal. I've got lots of fuel. Got most of that first stage left in the core, and then I've got my Terrier engine up top, which again is way more efficient in the vacuum of space. So Jeb's gonna definitely get to orbit. Don't see why not. So I've got I can't see the time to my apoapsis because of one of my buildings. I think it's the radar station. It's not upgraded, so that would be helpful. But I think if I go to the map, yeah, it's not going to tell me there either. And I can't warp. Oh. What I can do is speed up time. Look, see, we're already at half the speed we were before, so we wasted an awful lot of energy going straight up in the air. But those solid rocket boosters, we're putting in work. So I'm going to go directly horizontal. I need a lot of horizontal velocity right now and almost I don't need any vertical change in velocity. So this stage has 1,000 meters per second left, so I'll be up to 1,400 meters per second before I have to ditch. Got no wind resistance up here, so I can also start getting my science experiments ready to use. I don't know that so keep that. Body temperature. Oh, we already got one of those in space near Kerbal. There we go. Ran out of fuel on our lower stage. So let's eject it. And here we go, Terrier. We got 1,900 meters per second left in this stage, and we only need 800 or so. So our apoapsis is still fine. We need to get this periapsis up above 78,000. I think I can get my crew report. Yeah, 5 science. A whopping 5 science. So my apoapsis is starting to rise, which I don't really want, so I'm going to lower it just a tad. Oh, my periapsis is still rising. All right. No, because I'm back into the atmosphere. So I'm not going to get my periapsis up above 63. Yeah, that's it. It's as good as it's going to get. And I'll catch it on the way back. So I have to orbit around the planet now. I'm scraping the atmosphere, headed pretty high up to 94,000 meters. When I get to there, I'll be able to raise my periapsis, so I'll actually have a full orbit, circular, stable orbit. 61 and a half. When this number starts climbing, that means we're out of the trough and back up towards our apoapsis. It just needs to stop dropping. I wonder if it would help to do that. And start climbing. There we go. Okay. On our way up. Just double checking there's not any experiments that I can do. Gonna get up above 70. So long as I'm in the atmosphere, it's creating drag on the vehicle, and my periapsis is dropping, my apoapsis is dropping. If that gets below 70, I'll have to use some fuel. But I don't know. Will it? Don't let me down. Get to 70. Yeah, it's not dropping nearly as fast, so. Get to 70, I'll circularize my orbit, and then we should get that milestone and that contract complete. And I've got lots of fuel to get back down to the surface. There we go. Okay. So I'm back out of the atmosphere, far enough away from my periapsis that if I do this, that number should rise. Just need to get it above 70. My apoapsis is way up there. Come on, you. Let's get up closer to the apoapsis. You're embarrassing me in front of my friends. There we go. All because I'm trying to be a boss and not use my map. But map makes it easier, especially when you can start warping. Apoapsis is not that bad. So let's think I can do my crew report. Oh, already got a crew report. Dag nabbit. Alright. Let's get out of here. My batteries down. I think the Terrier recharges the batteries as I burn it. So periapsis is dropping again. Get it down to 30 or so. That's all you really need. Burn like hell if you really want. All it's doing is changing where we're gonna land. Nice if I can land on the ocean here. Which I will, yep. Again, you get more money if you land closer to the Kerbal Space Center. It's not something I usually worry too much about. We are out of fuel, so. Yep, that's the last coupling. Good. I'll be able to use that for my second contract. So let's get down to the water. Let's get wet. These doors open will actually create some drag, slow us down before our chutes are ready. Also means the heat shield needs to be pointed that way. We're going a lot faster this time than we were before, so you get to see some flames, but it shouldn't be nearly hot enough to cause any damage. No. Oh, good. Ooh. You almost got me that time staging. As a matter of fact, let me just do these manually. If I had just hit my staging sequence, I would have ejected my heat shield and wasted my contract. My contract condition. So let's put that over there. I'm going to run the tests as soon as I'm wet. Oh, over the. There we go. Keep that. I think that was the exact same experiment that I just kept. It's 1.6. Might as well. Okay. Let's get to the water. And now back to a commercial break. One thing you can do is you can start to clear these messages. The milestone list will start to get pretty long. But the first time you play, you should definitely read them. It makes you feel good about yourself. Broke a speed record, launched the vessel, another speed record, land distance record, altitude records, and then one of the last ones, yep, entered orbit. So you do get science for completing these milestones, even though they're not contracts. Just a little bit of science, but every bit helps. So delete all of that. That way you can have a fresh message box next time you jump in a mission. But my 2 contracts nearly complete. Well, that'll give me 2 more messages. Oh, okay. See, I could stop bringing 3 science experiments on some of these missions because I'm starting to use them up until I start landing in other biomes at least. So if I'd have landed on the mountains or the desert or something like that, then those experiments would have given me more points. But so long as I keep splashing into the water, I can't get more points for doing the same experiments. So now let me run my test. And there's my contract completed. And now we stage, and there's my second contract. And look, the heat shield's gonna float, so that's not pollution. They're gonna pick that up when they pick up the command module. I planned that. Perfect. Okay, let's recover. technically I think the heat shield just became its own vessel, and I have to select it and recover it. Back up to 73 science, 319,000 credits. Oh, level 1, see? So I think orbiting the planet is what gave Jeb his first star. So everything else before that was negligible. Orbiting is what gives them their first star. And I suspect landing on the moon and planting a flag gives the second, if I'm not mistaken. It might have to be two flags on two different celestial bodies, I'm not too sure. I tend to spend my science because that's what I'm doing these missions for. These bigger fuel tanks and eventually bigger engines is going to get us to the moon more comfortably. But technically we can do it with what we've got, as long as we can start using fuel lines. So fuel lines is going to be a big milestone for us. It's going to take a lot of science. I tend to avoid the aviation parts until I start needing them for spaceflight, until I've got enough funds where 45 science is not a big deal, which at some point it won't be a big deal. When you get to the moon, that's a lot of science, so be able to spend it and waste it. Reaction wheels are going to be really handy. Batteries are super handy. Science Junior, there we go. It's probably going to be our next purchase. So if you're like me, once I got into space, I really wanted to leave something there. So batteries and, let's see, not quite yet. Batteries and solar panels is how you're going to do it. So that's going to be soon, but not yet. I can leave a satellite now, and it'll run for a little while, but it will run out of power. So I need some battery. I'm sorry, I need some solar panels to feasibly leave a satellite up in orbit, and preferably some better panels, but the little ones will do. Okay. I need 90 science. Let's leave. And I'm back up to 20 minutes in this video, so we'll call it a done. And when we come back, get some more science points, get some more tech unlocked. Doing pretty good on money. We're not spending nearly as much as we're earning each mission, which is important. You fly for the fun of it, and you start wasting money. I mean, so long as you're having fun, it's all good. But if you're just flying to blow up things, you might as well play on Sandbox. I think if you're playing on career, it's because you're trying to be efficient and trying to make it work with what you got. So I appreciate you tuning in. I have another video shortly, getting some more science, climbing up the tech tree, and unlocking some more upgrades on these parts of campus so you guys can see the benefits, particularly the tracking station. I bet that'll be soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. You have a great one.